everyone. Hope you're doing really well. And today we are going to start with another poem, which is again by Robert Frost. And that poem is Fire and Ice. Now, when we talk about fire and ice as the title, okay, we have so much to say. But before I begin with what I have to say and I have to teach you, there are a couple of things that I would be covering for you all so that it becomes easier for you to understand this poem, and also it becomes easier for you, it is quicker for you to answer and present your answer, your poem or your explanation, your analysis in a better way. So we're going to cover the summary of the poem, which is very, very and extremely important for us. The second thing is theme, what it conveys to us, what it reflects, the message, the tone, mood, and definitely the poetic devices, and last but not the least, the tip for all of you to answer your questions well. All right, so let's begin. We're starting with fire and ice. Now, fire and ice, these are two completely opposite of each other. Fire, which is referred to something which is very hot, extremely hot, burning, which can burn anything, and ice, which is extreme cold, that can lead to freezing. So fire and ice, why is it that Robert Frost used these two completely opposite elements in order to create a poem? That's the question that comes to the mind. Why fire and ice? Why not something else? So it's a very important and interesting incident in the life of Robert Frost. He was attending a seminar in which he came across this Nobel laureate. He was a physicist, and the questions, it was a question answer round, and everybody was asking some of the other question to this Nobel laureate. And suddenly there was a very evident question that was asked, and very important and significant one as well, which was, how do you think the world will end? To which he replied, based on the studies that were still going on, he was not sure. He said, we are talking about multiple ways, and multiple researches are still being conducted, because Earth is created because one star, it did burst, and that led to the creation of Earth and many other planets. So how we are expecting Earth to end? Okay, so here in this he said that it could be possible that over a period of time Earth may start going near the sun, and once Earth starts going near the sun, it will lead to the temperatures rising, and that will ultimately lead to Earth turning into a ball of fire. Okay, so that will destroy Earth as a planet. If not nearing the sun, it may go farther away from the sun. And the moment it starts going farther away from the sun, it may lead to the planet getting colder and colder and turning into a ball of ice. And so these are the two possibilities that we can think of as of now. But yes, things may change. This intrigued Robert Frost, and he started wondering about it. He thought, if it is not just going near the sun or away from the sun, what about the mankind? Mankind also is filled with desires, is filled with hatred. Can't that lead to destruction of Earth or destruction of mankind? Yes, that can. That was the beginning of this thought, and that led to the creation of this poem, Fire and Ice. If we see this poem, fire and ice, though these are two completely opposite elements, yet they are symbolically used in this poem. These are antitheses. There is a use of antithesis in this poem. Antithesis means when two completely opposite things are being compared, being used in a literary piece. Now, in this, fire has been used to denote, to symbolize lust, lust for power, greed for money, okay, anger, some of the things which may lead to destruction of brotherhood, of humanity. And eyes is symbolic of hatred, of jealousy, and that may lead to again destruction of mankind. So in this poem, the poet tries to tell us that it's not, if I have to tell how the word will end, I would prefer to favor those who say that it will end because of fire. Because fire has the power. With anger, you may end up killing people. You may end up saying things which are really hurtful, right? But he says that I would not deny the fact that people or mankind can still be killed because of jealousy, because of hatred. And that is primarily for the fact that even jealousy or hatred has the same capability to destroy, to destruct, to finish mankind or humanity. He says that both of them have their equal powers to finish the religion which we all should practice, that is of humanity. So if he says that if not fire, even ice would suffice, which means that even that has the power to destroy humanity or mankind. And this is really significant for all of us because yes, we are surrounded by so many elements or elements who try to poison our minds, who try to persuade us into believing something wherein we are finding faults in. We are trying to demean each other. We are trying to say false things or believe false things about others, right? So we are actually being led by these thoughts that may give rise to anger in us or it may give rise to hatred in us. So fire and ice are the elements that he referred to which are there in us that can lead to the destruction of mankind. So fire and ice both have been considered to be the harbingers of death for mankind. Okay, so when we come to the theme which is reflected through this poem, the theme which is reflected is of destruction, destructiveness, which is possessed because of anger or hatred. So destruction is inevitable of the planet, but then of the mankind, that completely depends on us. Whether we carry these feelings which may lead to the destruction of mankind, or we be kind to others. The message that is conveyed through this poem by Robert Frost is that destruction is inevitable. You cannot avoid. Okay? And fire and ice are the apocalyptic forces that may lead to the end of the world, that may lead to the end of humanity or mankind. Okay? Then the tone of the poet. The tone of the poet is light yet formal. It's formal because he wants to convey something which is very serious. And it is also declarative in nature. So light, formal, and declarative. That's the tone of the poet. Mood. Mood is serious because he's trying to tell us something which may lead to destruction of humanity. So the mood of the poet is serious. Okay. Now coming to the poetic devices that are used, that is very important because that helps us in analyzing the poem, and the words that are used, we try to analyze all of it. Okay, so when we refer to the poetic devices used in this poem, the poetic devices are imagery where the poet has used how the word, some say the word will end in fire, Some say the word will end in fire. You start imagining. That triggers the imagination in us how the word might end in fire. The poet has also used anaphora. Anaphora, when the same word, same word has been used to begin, has been used in 2 to 3 consecutive lines. The same lines, the lines have started with the same word. So here some say the word will end in fire, some say in ice. So here some is a word which has been used twice, right? One line after the other. So that is anaphora. Next is alliteration. Same consonant sound in the same line. So some say it starts with the same consonant sound. So that is alliteration. Also, word will, it starts with the same consonant sound. So that is also an example of alliteration. Now in this we have also used, the poet has also used enjambment, wherein one idea gets rolled on to the next line without any pause. Okay. Other than that, yes, antithesis, as we discussed earlier, antithesis wherein 2 elements, completely opposite elements, have been used in the poem, and that is fire and ice. Fire, which is, again, symbolism has been used. Why? Because fire is symbolically used to convey about lust, about desire, about anger. Whereas ice, which is also symbolic of hatred, jealousy, coldness towards each other, cold heart, okay, cold emotions. So these 2 elements, though they are used as antithesis, but also they symbolize. So there is a use of symbolism also. Other than that, there is a use of assonance. Assonance, when the same sound has been repeated, vowel sound has been repeated in the line, in the letters. Okay, so here the poet has used assonance in order to create that rhyme scheme. The poet has also used personification, wherein he has personified fire and ice, and in this he tries to show us that both are equally capable to destroy. These are used as modes of destruction. So both are capable. Now capability and destruction is actually not destruction, but capability is a human attribute. Humans are capable. Okay, so we call ourselves capable. Whereas here the poet has used fire and ice to be capable of destruction. So here we are referring to fire and ice as they have been personified. So that is, there's a use of personification here. Now again, as we come to the tips in order to answer these questions, answer the questions which are connected to this chapter, okay, or this poem. When we refer to the answers, how you are presenting your thoughts, it makes a lot of difference, children. So you need to understand that you have to use the words that are there in the analysis. Direct questions can be asked, as we've been studying all of it. Okay, so when we refer to direct questions, we have to ensure that we are very meticulous in our presentation of the answer. You cannot be using slangs when you are writing your answer. So you have to use formal way of presenting your answer. And in order to ensure that the examiner catches the right word, the right phrases which are required for your answer, so you need to underline those. So try to use the words which are used in the theme, message, tone and mood, and the setting. Okay, it helps in building your answer. So when we refer to destructive power, when we refer to apocalyptic tone, when we refer to fire and ice, apocalyptic forces, okay, so please try to use these words and try to underline these words when you are writing your answer. That will help in number 1, your presentation, a better presentation of your answer. Number 2, a formal way of conveying your thoughts. And number 3, the examiner will be impressed with the way you have answered that question. So So please remember these tips and it will help you to ace your exams.